Well, I think this is like take 5. Not doing very well to get this, get my point across here and make any sense of it. But I'm going to do my best on this one. This is the one. Right, it's about the march from a couple of weeks ago, June the 1st, the Tommy event. It's about the grassroots movement. It's about voting, about reform, etc., etc. And Nigel Farage. So, my opinion at the moment is that voting is just something that's going to make you feel a bit better. I don't see the point at this moment. Now, there's one thing that could happen, and if it did happen, I think I would vote for reform if they, and they won't, because there's no way Nigel Farage is this crazy, but if he actually reached out to Tommy and asked him to be affiliated or even stand on a seat for election, in the general election, and then when the absolute hysteria comes in from the media that Nigel Farage and the Reform Party say, sod off, we don't care what you think. If they did that, then they get my vote. And there are going to be those there that like the ones that really don't like the Wailing Wall lot that go, no, but Tommy's a grifter or a shill for Israel, and it's like, oh my god. Right. So just to clarify, you cannot find a single person that you put on a pedestal and is going to be Jesus, other than Jesus, right? They don't exist. Everybody has their faults, even me, apparently. Not that I don't know of any. And so, yes, I know. Tommy's very involved with the Israel lot. So is my 2C. So is probably quite a few. Jeff Taylor. But I don't care. I'm not a fan of Israel. I'm obviously not a fan of Hamas. I actually don't give a shit about that part of the world. I want England to be recognised as a state, and for me, let's do the mega movement, make England great again. Covered that, I think, without pissing off everybody. So this grassroots movement, we also had Carl Benjamin there, Noah Tusi was there, and Lawrence Fox, and I watched the chat they had afterwards on the day, and it was very, very good. And that's important to have those different people, because they've all got their own little sort of specific groups. If it was a Venn diagram, there's a lot of crossing over there of them, but there are going to be some people that like Carl Benjamin because of he's the way he speaks, and don't like Tommy, or vice versa. I think that's important to have those there. They brought up Posey Parker, and I was thinking, yes, what a great addition that would be if they could persuade her to come along to the next one on June 27th. That'd be a challenge, because I don't know her opinion on Tommy, let's say, and let's just say like the EDL lads in the crowd, probably not a fan. But this is the point of this movement. It's to try to get anyone out there with a brain in their head that's still reasonably working. There's some sort of red pilling happened, to get them along to this, because I do believe that this grassroots movement, if it really gets going, would make the voting thing irrelevant, really, because we just take over. The nation just says, no, we're not having this. Sorry, you're out. We don't care what you do, because I'm very black-pilled now on voting, and I have been mocking people. I think one of my recent videos, I was a bit harsh, probably, about people voting for reform, but my opinion is they are a distraction. They are there because everyone's sick of the Tories. There were people there that were foolish enough to vote for the Tories in 2019, thinking that, oh no, this time they really mean it, and then they're all upset and surprised and hurt that the Tories ended up stabbing them in the back. It's like, you got what you deserved, you voted for them. And what is it they say, like, if voting actually mattered, we wouldn't be allowed to do it. So those people, obviously they're not going to vote Tory now. They go, no, we don't trust you, we're going to vote reform. And are reform being absolutely hounded in the media? Are they being, every single one of them being vilified as a Nazi? No, they're not. And that's because they're being allowed to grow. They are the distraction. For me, they are the rebranding of the Tories. It is a little bit different now. Nigel Farage has taken over and Richard Tice has sat down, because Richard Tice was just awful. And Nigel Farage has a brand, very recognisable brand, very charismatic, a brilliant orator. I respect him greatly for what he's done in the past, but I also now don't trust him as far as I could spit. Ever since the referendum in 2016, he's just been an absolute letdown. And in fact, he's hurt the nation. He's hurt us, because he pretty much single-handedly brought down UKIP. I know they're still going, but they're a shell of what they used to be. He left UKIP. He also interfered with the new leadership. He recommended some absolute jokers, and then when they did get a good leader in Gerard Batten, he went after them. And I mean, Gerard Batten did something radical by bringing in Tommy, brave thing to do, and that was pretty much the end of his political career. But Nigel Farage definitely put the boot in on that. He then, obviously set up the Brexit Party, which is now Reform. And in 2019, he would have had, I think he had a full lot. Didn't he have 650 candidates ready to go? I think he did. Or close to that. And then at the last minute, he stitched them all up and said, no, we're going to hand it over to the Tories. Trust the Tories. So, yeah, and we all know what happened there. And actually, if there had been a few Reform MPs in there, even like 20 or so, some of them might have been really based, and someone like Andrew Bridgen might not have been on his own, kicking off a stink about the vaccines and lockdowns and all that sort of stuff. So you did actually really cause harm by doing that. So no, I don't trust Nigel Farage. He wanted Tony Blair to be in charge of vaccines. Really, that doesn't give. I mean, so my point about Nigel Farage is, it's conflicted. Respect for what he's done in the past, but no. All he wants now is to be accepted by the establishment. He wants to be leader of the Tory party, really, doesn't he? And he wants to kneel in front of the Lizard King and arise as Sir Nigel. I don't blame him for that, but I wish he'd just stay out of the way or follow it through. But so this is why I don't have any faith in Reform. If they did bring Tommy in and they said F you to the media, then wow, okay, that would be something. And I might just go, go on, you can have my vote if you did that, just for that, for the brass balls in it. But so for those that are going to vote Reform, thinking it's going to do anything, I hope it makes you feel better. But what I want is for people to get to that point where you accept that it's just a facade. You can't get anywhere with our current establishment by voting. And there was a chap in a video I did a while ago, and he sort of said that I chewed him out for saying pretty much what I'm saying now a couple of years ago. And I'm sorry about that, mate. I might have done. Hopefully I wasn't too rude or anything like that. But I just, back then I believed in voting, and I now have had to swallow a very bitter black pill on voting. And the only change happens when enough people make it happen. And the people that are making these terrible decisions that hurt us feel it. And that's probably going to be bad. And there's probably lots of violent and bad things happen to people. I don't want to go into details of it, but I think it feels inevitable. But the grassroots movement, this could be a way. This could be a way of getting an awful lot of reasonable, clear-thinking people to make a stand now before it gets really nasty. So that's where I'm coming from. Carry on and vote if you want, but then when you come to that realisation that it didn't mean diddly squat, then get on board with this grassroots movement. Let's make a change that way. That's it. Anyway, so hope everyone's alright, and I'll catch you again soon. Bye.